Hey family, so today I am in our in-ground garden and my goal is to get this potato row loosened up. We just had some heavy rain last night, so the soil should be pretty loose. If we stay clear of rain, I would say for the next couple days, kind of let the soil dry out a little bit. I may go ahead and plant the potatoes, but the goal for today is to get this row loosened up and just sort of assess what's going on in the garden. Thanks for joining. What? You got something to say? Huh? You got something to tell the people? In the soil. So many of these guys. This is gonna be boot snack. That's what I've broken up so far. All right, family, so we got this row all loosened up, and what I'll do is come through and make a furrow in the middle of this mound, and then once I make the furrow, I'll put the fertilizer down in the furrow, then plant the potatoes, and then cover the potatoes with the surrounding soil. I don't think I'm gonna get to that today. I'm starting to lose sunlight and I'm tired. So we'll pick this up tomorrow. But for you, it'll be a second. All right, family, so it's the next day and we didn't get any rain last night. We do have some rain in the forecast later this week, but it's not a lot of rain. The temperatures are going to drop tonight, which is fine. It's not a freeze. That's the main thing. If you put your potatoes in the ground, you don't want a hard freeze. And so what a hard freeze is considered when the temperatures are freezing, which is 32 degrees, for 4 or more hours. So in that case, that's a hard freeze. So anyway, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Go ahead and get these potatoes in the ground. Our average last frost date has come and gone. So I feel comfortable. Actually, a lot of my neighbors I talk to, they've already got their potatoes in the ground, so I feel pretty comfortable go ahead and getting these in the ground now. So we got Miss Boots back. She has had a time going through this loosened soil, finding all the wormy. My camera has so much pollen on it already. Just wanted to show what the furrow or the trench basically looks like. All right, family, so we got the fertilizer down. I used blood and bone meal, and here I'm just working it into the soil. Hello? All right, family. So I got a phone call from my middle daughter, Leela, that she was involved in a car accident. She is doing fine. She's just a little beaten up emotionally and physically, but we are very blessed that she's doing well. So I did finish covering up Potato Row, but I didn't record anything else, and came back into the shed to just kind of give all of the information that I wanted to give as I was doing the work, but of course I was distracted and couldn't focus. And similarly, my camera would not focus either. I do apologize for that. Hey, I'm doing the best I can. Remember how we talked about determinate and indeterminate for tomatoes? Well, the same is similar to planting your potatoes. You want to know, is your potato a determinate variety or an indeterminate variety? Now, my number one recommendation is if you have a feed store near your house, get your seed potatoes from the feed store. Those potatoes have been sort of bred to do well in your area. Now, my local feed store sells out really quickly of the seed potatoes. I mean, they don't have an indefinite amount of them. So unless you get in there early, which, surprise, surprise, I'm always behind, you might not be able to have access to those. So you can get seed potatoes from like Walmart or Tractor Supply or other big box stores. But the number one recommendation is to get the ones that have been climatized for your area. They'll do really well. And that might be encouraging as a new gardener, a new grower, to have success. Now, what I've noticed is that potatoes sold in the big box stores are typically determinate varieties. Like here I have this blue Adirondack variety. This is a determinate potato. And then also the red Norland. This is a determinate potato. When you're talking about potatoes, determinate varieties do not require mounding or healing. Sort of the usual way that you see people plant potatoes is they will dig a trench, they will plant the potato in the trench, and then every week or 2 weeks they will mound up that trench to allow the potatoes to have more and more room to just develop more and more tubers. Well, when you're talking about a determinate variety, you're only going to have a single layer of potatoes. So you can mound if you start to see like the tops of your potatoes starting to show. You can certainly mound those potatoes, but it's not going to give you the layers and layers of potatoes as if it was an indeterminate variety. So just keep that in mind. I know my first time planting potatoes, I didn't know that, and so I was looking for, digging and digging and digging potatoes, and it was pretty much the same level at which I planted the seed potato was pretty much all that I got, which is fine. You plant one seed potato, and this one seed potato can produce you 5 or 6 times more potatoes. Now let's talk about the chitting process. This growth coming out of the potato, these are called chits, okay? And this is what will grow up and want to photosynthesize, want to reach out of the soil so that the plant can start to uptake and produce more potatoes. When this is in the soil, the roots will come all around down in the soil and produce the tubers. This part is what will grow out of the ground. So sometimes the potatoes may expose themselves to the top of the soil, and like I said, that's when you can go back and just put some more soil on top. But if you're growing a determinate variety, don't think that's going to give you more tubers. That's just not the case. Now oftentimes, and even on the packaging for the potatoes, you may see where people cut their potatoes, and that's perfectly fine. I've done that previously. I didn't do that this year just because I didn't feel like it. I had enough seed potatoes and I just didn't feel like doing it. And it takes about a week or so. Once you cut the potato, you want that exposed area that you cut to do what's called scab over. And that's so that when you put it in the ground, it is able to sort of repel the moisture that's going to be coming in contact with it. You don't want this potato to rot in the ground. So oftentimes when you cut your potato, you want it to scab over. Now when you're planting your potatoes, like I said, these little chits are what's going to go out of the soil. So if you were to cut this potato, like say you were to cut this in half, you want to plant it so that the maximum amount of chits will be having sort of a head start to get access to the top of the soil. Just research the type of potato that you're going to be growing to determine if it is a determinate potato, which means you're planted about 4 inches deep and you'll get one single mound of potatoes, or an indeterminate potato, which means you'll plant it a little deeper, and ever so 2 weeks or so you'll come and you'll mound on top of that plant, and that's so it will force the plant to continually have to try to get above that soil level and give you more potatoes. That's where you get the layers and layers of potatoes. All right, family, hope you enjoy this video, and we will talk to you soon. Peace and blessings from Super's Farm.